Okay, welcome to religious education, distant learning, virtual learning, online learning. Today we will talk about the reasons for festivals. That will be our topic today. As we have looked the last time in the lesson at festivals, today we want to look at the reasons for these festivals. So that's our topic today. There are reasons that festivals are celebrated. And we have a few objectives, and we want to look at these objectives in a timely manner, one by one. And the first objective that we want to look at today for the reason for festival is that festival is held to celebrate the birth or death of a founder. For example, Christians celebrate the birth of Jesus in December. And as some of us may know, December 25th is selected as the day that the birth of Jesus the Christ is celebrated. Now I just want to say something on that, because many persons are going to say, okay, this is controversy, etc. Jesus Christ was not born on the 25th of December. We are not certain of the day on which Jesus was born. However, in one lesson you would have noticed the definition of a festival. A festival is a day set aside to celebrate a particular event. So then, it is not that Jesus the Christ was born on December 25th. It is that the Christian world has set December 25th aside as an appropriate day when the entire world can appreciate that a Savior came into the world. Now you have to understand that festivals are very important in the lives of people, whether these festivals are religious or they are secular. For example, if we don't in Jamaica celebrate our culture, what is going to happen is that one generation will know about those cultures, but the newer generations will not know about them, and therefore those cultures will eventually die. And that is why festivals are important, because what they do, they commemorate events, for example Christmas. And so from one generation to the next, they are aware of them, commemorate them, and therefore keep step with them and keep knowledge, keep abreast of them. That's the only way that generations can be informed, when one generation informs the generation coming. So it is to celebrate the birth of a founder. In Rastafari, they have Marcus Garvey Day, because they see Marcus Garvey in Rastafari as one of the founders of the religion. So Marcus Garvey was born on August 17th. So on the 17th of August, you will see Rastafarians journeying to Montego Bay to meet at the Nyabinghi Center to celebrate or to commemorate this festival. And then another objective or another reason festivals are celebrated is to mark some important religious occasion. For example, Muslims mark the end of a whole month of fasting. In Islam, they have a pillar known as Ramadan, or a month. Ramadan is the month, and so that comes around September, October. For this entire month, the Muslims deny themselves of many things that would give them pleasure. And you can think now of the many things that give them pleasure. They deny themselves of those things. For example, eat, drink, etc., etc. So, at the end of the month, what they do is to celebrate a festival, right, to commemorate that they have achieved this for the year. They have been through, this month of fast, and they have triumphed, and they have come, and everything is well, right? So that festival marks the end of that month of fast, right? Now, another reason the festivals are celebrated is to mark some important religious occasion, or to mark important events in history, or to mark an important event in history. For example, the Passover. Jews celebrate the Passover to mark their freedom from slavery in Egypt. The slaves were in Egypt. The Jews were the slaves. And the Egyptians would work them and overwork them. However, Moses, known as the deliverer from slavery, through the inspiration and through the power of God, went down there and liberated these people. Now, the night when they were to leave Egypt, they left in haste. So the bread that they were baking, was baked without yeast. So today, when Jews celebrate that festival, there is no yeast in their bread. Now, Christianity is actually derived from Judaism, and the Eucharist, or the Lord's Supper in Christianity, is what takes over from Pesach, or the Passover, in Egypt. So that is why when communion is being served in the church, the bread actually has no yeast, right? Because in Christianity it is marking two things. One, it is marking the slavery's freedom from Egypt, and two, it is marking the time when Jesus died on the cross to set everybody free from sin. Right? So that is the purpose of the communion and Pesach. So it is very important. Some persons do not pay attention to festivals, but festivals are very important because this is what they do. They help you to remember. They help you to call to mind the great things that happened to you in the past. Bring those things, recall those things into the future, and to pass them on to the younger generation. So, those are some of the reasons. We're going to look at another reason. Another reason festivals are celebrated is to celebrate an important season or time. For example, the New Year, for religious reflections. After going through a whole year, it could be a year of turmoil. For example, this year, 2020, everybody will remember that it is the year of COVID-19. Hundreds of thousands died, a few recovered from this virus. So, if and when you live to see the end of this year, you live to see December, when you step over into the new year, 2021, it's a time to go to church service. You can't afford to let New Year's Sunday pass you or the first Sabbath in the new year, because you have to go there and give God praise and glory, because you could have died and gone like many others. They first told us that coronavirus killed mostly old people. But now we are seeing where very small children are having that virus, suffering from that virus. And therefore, if they can suffer from the virus, it means then that it can also destroy them. And this is a dangerous virus because it actually attacks the cells, of the body and destroys your body cells. So, at the end of a year of challenges, you want to commemorate that new year, by going to church, going to the New Year's service, show your appreciation to the Divine One for His keeping care, His guidance, and His protection. So New Year is a festival for most religion, and religion learners only leads the way in life. But in the secular world, they celebrate as well. For example, everybody celebrates New Year. However, it is actually, coming out of religion. For example, the Jewish New Year is known as Rosh Hashanah. It's a religious festivity. However, everybody participates in it because it is about life. Right? Just like in Christmas in Jamaica, on Christmas Eve, you go into the marketplace. Everywhere you go, a big crowd is there, especially the night before Christmas, even to walk and to talk and look. But everybody becomes a part of it. So they are really religious celebrations, but the secular world share in them. It's just that religion leads the way. Yes. Now, we want to quickly recap what we have looked at so far in terms of our objectives. As you know, today's topic was the reason for festivals. We celebrate festivals for particular reasons. And the first reason is that a festival is held to celebrate the birth or death of a founder. For example, Christianity celebrates the birth of Jesus on December 25th. Reason 2, to mark some important religious occasion. For example, in the month of Ramadan, when the Muslims are finished in their fast, they will have a celebration to mark that. Because they could not eat, they could not drink, and they could not do many other things of pleasure that they could, but now they can. Reason number 3, to mark an important event in history. For example, the Passover that is celebrated by the Jewish people is a celebration of freedom, liberation from slavery. So it marks a particular event in history. And fourthly, the reason for festival is to celebrate an important season or time. For example, the new year for religious reflection. Now, before we close today's class and today's lesson, we want to look at why these festivals would be important to us, or actually the purpose of religious education. A number of students, and I may be talking to you now in front of the screen, a number of students don't see the importance of religion. But if you will appreciate religion when you realize that you actually live in a religious world. As I said before, all people share in the festivals, but if you notice the history of these festivals, they are actually led by religion. All right? They are led by religion. Religion leads the way. So what's the purpose of religious education in all of this?